Hey everybody, welcome to Garrett's Games and Geekiness. We're doing videos now to go along with our long-running audio podcast. And so we're trying to cover games that we picked up at Essen, and we're going to do a game per video and do most of the ones that we're also going to cover in the audio and go into a little bit more depth in the audio. Some people like video, some people like audio.
Yeah, that's true.
We want to appeal to as many people as possible out there. So how you doing, Honey Bunch?
I'm doing way better.
Yeah!
Each day we're getting better and better, aren't we, dear?
We are, yeah. Shelley had a little medical scare when we were over in Europe, and now, of course, we got a little bit of that pre-con crud. We got it in Prague, actually. Yeah. I got it first, coughing away, and then you now picked it up after me. Sorry about that.
You still have it, and I still have it.
Yeah, exactly. But we're getting there. And it does afford us the chance to play some of these games because we can say, oh, you know, unfortunately, we can't go and do this, that, or the other thing because we're not feeling well.
You don't feel well enough to do that.
We can play some games. And today's game is Spectacular. It is by Eilif Svensson and Asmund Svensson from Chilifox for 1 to 6 players, 10 plus, and plays in 20 to 30 minutes. So it's a quick one, really kind of family oriented because of that 20 to 30 minute time frame that we're looking at here. It is a puzzly game and simultaneous play. Exactly.
So that's why that also makes it so there's very little downtime. Part of the reason why it's so short, right?
Okay, so let's take a look and do an overview of Spectacular. So what you can see is every player has their own player board. There are actually 6 different animals, and your star animal that is associated with your wildlife park. You also have little watchtowers that you're going to be building, but it's this hex grid that you're going to be building on. Now, these are double-sided boards. Everybody can have these. You can start with the sun side, and these are all the same. Otherwise, you start with the leaf side, and these are all asymmetrical, different for each of the different animals that you have in the game.
So there's many boards in this game.
It plays up to 6 players, and there are 6 boards in the game. I should also say, very cool. Everybody gets their own little box of components here, which is kind of cool.
Very environmental too.
Definitely.
Have like this, and nice.
So I've set up the game for 2 players here. Everybody gets their player board. You have a stack of your own specific tiles that are geared just towards you. You then have 2 of each of the 4 dice colors, and these are like food. Okay, and then you're going to be placing the animals out into your wilderness area. You also have these little floating rectangular boards. Then these are going to be passed back and forth, or actually passed, of course, clockwise if you're playing with more than 2 players.
I wondered how that was going to work.
Exactly. So one of the things that you're going to want to see is what is available to you as you are looking and around the board. So I know, okay, so if this is me, for example, I'm looking over here and I'm going to see what is coming to me, and so what I might want to take here and what is available and what's going to run out quicker, right? So we start by placing 3 start tiles onto each spot, just turning over the top 3. There are these little partial circles, and those have to fit with this little dotted black line because those are for making the watchtowers. And so if you get some of those, you've got that. And here's another there. I got to place that so that it fits the watchtower.
And you can see that because of that, your animals aren't necessarily always facing you. They can be turned in any direction.
Exactly. You can turn them in any direction. Though unless it has the little watchtower part, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody has their star animal that is pre-printed on the tile, and that star animal can only take food of value 6 or a die value of 6. We have 5 tokens, these little ovals, that allow us to modify dice values. You have a wild and then 1 in each of the colors. And so on your turn, you are going to be drafting 1 thing from the rotating stock and 1 thing from your personal stock. And it's really nice as you're doing this simultaneously to make sure that you take a minute and put the die on here or the tile, okay, either one, and you put the tile onto here. Pause for a minute. What I do is I then push this away saying, okay, I've gotten my stuff done, and then I go and put the things on where I want to place them. Now you'll notice that most of the animals have just I should say, 2 of the animals have either a heart symbol on them, or of course you've got your star. I already talked about this. This only takes a 6. So I may be looking at here and going, oh, I may want this 5 over here as it comes to me, and then modify it by 1 up to a 6. Does go 6 to 1, 1 to 6 as well. Good. And I'm also looking here, oh, I've got a 1 and a 2, so I'm set, because the breeding animals, the ones with the little hearts, have to have only a 1 or a 2. Otherwise, the other animals can have any value except a 6, unless you have built a watchtower. Now I'm going to see if I can build a quick watchtower from the tiles. Okay, so say over the course of the game I had built this.
Okay.
Now I can put in a watchtower, and as soon as that watchtower is built, dice that I may now place around here can go up to value 6, all right? So I could, on a subsequent turn, maybe take this 5, turn it into a 6, and that can go there.
Using
using my one-time use gray little oval. And later on, at the end of a round, I can also use my modifiers. If I had, for example, placed this 5 here early, put this in, now I have the watchtower, and now I could turn this into a 6 by using that.
You can't ever remove the dice from the board, but you could adjust them up 1 or down based on the pieces that the ovals you still have.
Exactly. There are 2 rounds in the game. In the first round, the round will end when all of these joint boards that you're passing around are empty. Okay, so that's going to be 4 and 4, 8 turns that are going to be in that round. And then you're going to have a fairly simple scoring, which is however many, let's just say this had here and here, and say this one out here, and that. Okay, so you look at where the entrance is, and then you just count the pips on all the dice that are connected to tiles that have dice on them. So in this case, this board would score 6 plus 3, 9 points. Because there's no die connecting to this one would not score. All right?
Right.
Then, as the game progresses, you refill these boards. In a 2 to 4 player game, you put one of each of the 4 dice again on here. So you're going to have 8 dice that are available on the boards that you are sharing. And now you are going to have the game play out 7 more rounds until all of your personal stuff is on the board. All right?
And that's going to happen at the exact same time unless someone made a mistake.
Exactly.
Because you're always taking 1 from this side, putting it here, 1 from this side, putting here. Even though you want more from here.
Oh, yeah.
Or here.
Exactly.
Usually from here. You can't do that until the board comes back to you.
Right.
Or maybe it won't in a multiple player game.
That's true.
That thing you want may not even be there for you.
When you take a tile from here, you're only taking 1 per thing, then you flip over a new tile. And I should say, the tiles that you have, because they are up here, and also the symbols that are possibly going to be on
And
them.
those are dependent upon what animal you are.
Exactly.
So they vary, which is nice.
Yes. Now, with each of these, at the end of the game, you're no longer going to do that, just add up the pips. No, instead, what you're going to do is you are going to look at each area of, let me get something.
You want to
see
use
if I can.
The score sheet?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking to see if here we go. I'm going to move this guy over here. So say that.
I see.
Say this is over here. Okay, and it would have to be like this because there. All right. I have to look at each area or each color type of terrain, and I'm going to count the total number of pips in that area. So 6 plus 3 plus 1.
The largest area that you have. So you could have other yellow over here.
I don't know if it's more than 1. I don't know if you can do more than 1.
We've only been counting the biggest group.
I think it is total value of all dice within each connected area of same tiles. So I think you could have 2 areas.
Ooh,
it's possible.
Okay.
All right, but this is going to be 10, and then you look at how many breeding tiles there are. Don't worry about the value on it, just that there's a die on it. So this would be 10 times 1, so 10. All right. If I had another breeding pair in here, so say I had this and this here, okay, and I was able to fill all of these things up, and I couldn't have a 6 because there's nothing there. All right, notice that you can not worry about the watchtower being
sometimes
built.
you can't build
So this would be 5, 6, 7, 8 times 1, 2, 16
because
total
of the
points
hearts
there.
that the breeding pairs allow you to be a multiplier.
Exactly.
Well, they don't have to have a pair, excuse me, the breeding 1. So you could have 1 times 1, or if you had 2 times 2, or 3 times 3.
Yeah. And then the other thing you look at is you look at around a watchtower. If all of the spots around a watchtower are filled, and remember you can put a 6 around a watchtower, you get those points. So this would be 13 more points for this player. And
But
then
if you didn't have one of these here, then you couldn't score
then it's worth
that.
0. You don't get the
Yeah.
7, you get 0. Right?
Right,
This is
right. Which
13 versus 0. All right? And then you look to see animal variety, and you have to have at least 10 different animals. And you're gonna, you have a certain number. Well, you have 6 different animals, 7 different animals because of your star animal already. So you have to get at least 3 others from the common stock. Okay.
To score it all.
To score it all, and you can get up to 17. And
70, isn't it?
no, sorry, 17 different animals for 80 points.
80 points. Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
We didn't get near that.
No. And then finally, you can add in these bonus, end game scoring bonuses, an A, a B, and a C, that are something that you're working towards in the game. So, for example, this one, you get 10 points if you have 4 breeding animals, regardless of type or habitat, right next to each other. Shelley had this one, and she was able to do it, which is 5 different 5 different tiles of 2 different habitats that are touching. This one I had, and I didn't get it, at least 12 value in the dice/food in all 4 colors. This one was an odd one. This is around your star animal, you want to have it completely surrounded. So notice your star animal's pre-printed. You want to have a tile around it and at least 4 different colors around it too. So they're pretty difficult, and
right.
you can focus on those, or you focus on other things as the game goes.
And you can maybe accomplish 1 or 2 or 3 if you are really, really
Yeah, and those go
focused on that.
face up right there at the beginning of the game. So that is spectacular. So what did you think of the game, hon?
I love it. It's so much fun. I highly recommend it. You will enjoy this game if you like puzzles, if you like no downtime, simultaneous play. When you have simultaneous play, it's more solitaire-esque.
Yes.
So you're not going to have as much interaction and stuff like that. But there's always that sweet spot in games or that sweetness where sometimes you're okay with that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you are really, and I found, you said something after our third play of this, that this just got better as we played.
Oh yeah, no. Every time you play it, it's more fun.
Right, because what I found myself doing is I was paying more and more attention to what was on the boards that were going back and forth, the common boards, because it's like, okay, well, Shelley she's focusing on yellow. And so that means those green dice are probably going to be available to me. So I don't have to take it now, and I can wait. So you are paying attention to what the other players are doing.
That is true. That is true.
And that could be really interesting as we go forward.
It's really enjoyable.
It really is enjoyable.
And the bits are great. Everything about it, the way it's produced.
And it plays so quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, we set it up. Shelley was busy doing something, and it's not a problem if somebody else sets up your board.
Right.
Because I could shuffle the tiles, put 3 out, roll her dice.
Yep.
All right, and then set up the common board, put out the top 3 from her thing. All set, no worries, right?
It was totally
everything was
for
fine.
me.
Yeah, exactly. So Shelley sat down, and boom, we could start playing. And then you're just drafting 1 and 1. From each your area and the common area that is next to you, and then switch over those things, and we go. I really liked this one.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely one that is going to stick around.
Yeah.
And because it plays up to 6.
That's huge.
It's really good.
And it works super well 2 players. There's no adjustments. There's no dummy player. There's nothing that slows it down. There's nothing to fiddle. It's not fiddly at all.
Not fiddly at all.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. So again, spectacular from Chilifox, Eilif and Asmund Svensson, 1 to 6 players, 10 plus, 20 to 30 minutes, and I really think it does fit into that 20 to 30 minute time frame, especially once you kind of understand how it flows.
And there's very few games that you can play that you would like that would be this great. For
Yeah.
20 minutes with 6 players.
6 players,
That's
exactly.
huge.
All right, that'll do it for this week. Remember, you can sponsor the podcast and this video series by going to patreon.com/GarrettsGames, or down into the notes here, click on the link to an extensive list of games that no longer fit on our shelves, but belong on your table instead. Regardless, thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.